Samus's Charge Shot, one of the many chargeable neutral B projectiles in the game, and in my opinion the best out of all of them, with the sheer versatility it has. Just overall a very good move. However, I wouldn't call it privileged like that per se. For that I want to look at a more unique projectile neutral B. Like Samus's Charge Shot, Grenade serves a wide variety of purposes and is absolutely core to Snake's game plan. Remove either of these moves from their respective characters and they plummet down the tier list, next to Ridley. But what makes Snake's Grenade a privileged move in my opinion is this. The Grenade explosion has two different hitboxes. A small hitbox on frame 1 and a bigger one from frame 2 onwards. The first one applying to the quote-unquote owner of the grenade, and the latter applying to everyone else. The owner being dependent on who picked it up last before the explosion should pretty much always be Snake, giving him a big advantage in scuffle situations with a grenade in place. While Snake does get hit a frame earlier, having a much smaller hitbox be the only one applicable to you is a trade-off very much worth having. Regardless of that, it's just a mechanic that makes the move better on a character that is already great, which is what makes it privileged in my opinion. But while I'm still talking about Snake, he has two more moves that I would want to talk about that I would consider perhaps privileged. His up tilt and his down tilt. With his up tilt just kind of speaking for itself. There's a reason that when you search up Snake frame data, one of the first things that comes up is his up tilt from Brawl. Anyway, as far as down tilt goes, look at this hitbox. That's not how legs work. Why is it that disjointed? I really do wonder if there's any nuanced reasoning behind making the hitbox for it like that. But privileged moves come in many different forms. From unique added-on mechanics to just perhaps plain dumb hitboxes or frame data. So now that that is established, Palutena back air and dash attack. Two more moves with unique properties, having a shield that can protect her while performing the move. Even beating out Samus's charge shot, a move that would normally go through any other hitbox because of its transcendent properties gets stopped by it. Nothing beats the shield, so unless you hit under or past it, you're not hitting Palutena at all. Hero's forward tilt actually has this mechanic as well. But that move is shit, so it doesn't matter, whereas Palutena's moves where the shield is applied are both spammable in multiple situations. Hell, like 50% of her neutral consists of just using back air. It just allows Palutena players to be really ignorant of anything. But even without the shield mechanic, these moves would be really good. So it's really just a cherry on top. It's surprising that none of the links have any moves where they use their shield now that I think about it. What's also surprising is how despite parrying is meant to be the way you can guard against the move guaranteeing you the most frame advantage possible, some moves can still be plus on it. Which is why the next moves are Spin Dash and Spin Charge? Is that even a thing from Sonic games? Whatever, Spin Dash aka Sonic Side B is plus on shield. Even to the extent that it's plus on parry as well, which is pretty nuts. Spin Charge thankfully isn't as safe, but at most it's -4 on parry, which is still quite crazy. These moves, being as safe as they are, is definitely a part of why these moves are so broken, as you are left with little option of counterplay against these moves, depending on the character you're playing as. That's also not mentioning the invincibility on Spin Dash, which makes challenging the move already harder than it needs to be. Anyway, that's all for this move. Next one. A move that's plus on shield and an explosive projectile that has a smaller hitbox for the owner of it. Pretty crazy, but what if there was a character with both of those? It's Steve. Of course it's Steve. Down tilt, +5 on shield. TNT, it allows for this setup. The developers really crammed as much as they possibly could into some of the DLC characters. Considering if you ranked every Steve move, those two would probably be on the lower end of the list. With the next move at the top, Minecart. Its role kind of aligns with Spin Dash / Charge in that it's just a really spammable horizontal movement option that can kind of ignore neutral and all sorts of stuff. It's just an insane move really, even just by seeing it you should be able to tell. As Minecart mostly speaks for itself, I want to move on to the last character. But before that, I want to give a shout out to every single frame 1 combo breaker of being able to deny players a dopamine rush every once in a while. And another shout out to any move with some kind of armor, for being really frustrating when it's actually the reason you die. Anyway, moves with armor. Right. Kazuya has 6 of those, 3 of them being his smash attacks and the other 3 all being close to the same command grab. Which is pretty funny. But the point is, Electric Wind Godfist is egregious. Goodbye.